Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of the Strange Society podcast. My name is Ambarovso. I'm here with
Yo, Max.
from the band Social Strain.
Yeah.
Let's see. Do you have any special updates for our watchers?
Indeed, we have.
Indeed, we have. First of all, our EP DeTune is out now on all platforms. Don't forget to give it a listen, especially our song Thorns, which is the star of this month and probably also one of my personal favorites, if we can have that.
Yeah, it's a pretty dope song. This is the more hardcore one, more like in your face.
We'll talk more about that later in your face. We also added a few more dates to the DeTune tour of 2026, so don't forget to check that out. Where we're coming to Marbella, Madrid, and also possibly some dates outside of Spain. So stay tuned if you want to see us live. And let's get into today's episode. So, influence of the month. I think I'll take this one because it's my turn. So the band that I've been like crazy about this month is a band called Hate 910. They're from Germany and they're like your classic, your ever like your beat down band, like really fucking love it. And they used to wear masks. I don't know if they still do, but I'm so obsessed with them. I discovered them through their Balaclava album, which they released this year. I think it was in April of 2025. So beginning of this year. Do you remember when I discovered them? I started putting their music on in the car on the way back from the gig.
Which is the song that you play on repeat all the time and you sing the lyrics?
Snitch. F this system because you know this. I can't say it on YouTube, but it's a really, really great album. I'm obsessed with them. And I think it's also one of the bands I was really obsessed with back when we were actually writing Thorns. It's one of the main influences also, I think. But yeah, such a great band. Definitely give it a listen if you get a chance and you really like beatdowns bands. That's the one for you. So what's your obsession this month?
Well, I've been really revisiting Gojira. I saw them not too far away, like 3 months ago in Carcassonne, the south of France. It was real, like the castle, and they put flamethrowers over the castle, and it's Gojira, man, and it was so dope. It was like in the theater of the castle, and people find a way to make a mosh pit between the chairs. I went, of course, I did. I was part of the mosh pit, and it was surreal, man. And although Gojira at this point could be even a little bit classic, because they have been for a while out there kicking some kind of, what part of the human body. They are pretty dope. And if you think about it, I think I have been influenced a little bit by Joey Duplantier. His rhythm guitar style is pretty cool, and it's interesting how a band that doesn't perform almost any solo is so huge. Like they have such a creative and interesting way of creating riff, and the drums, all this odd pattern that the crazy Mario Duplantier has is pretty dope.
That's the cool thing with Gojira. Is it 3/4? Is it 4/4? Is it 6/8? Is it BPM this? But to be fair, we do that too. Like our songs, if you listen to our EP DeTune, which you should, we switch all the time with BPM and with what do you call that in English? The measure, I think it's called the measure. It's like 4/4, 3/4. We time signature. Sorry, in English is not my native language, obviously. No, but
mine neither.
No, and yet we're doing this in English. I don't know. No, but like that's something that I really love about Gojira, and I think we also incorporate in our music is that level of creative freedom. Also, like not to be forced to stay in one lane or be limited in your ideas just because you don't want to change the time signature, for example. So, but yeah, Gojira is really great. I want to use that one day too on one of our shows, like a big fire show. But we mainly play indoors, and most of the time they don't allow that for obvious reasons. Or you need because I know in Belgium you need somebody with a special license to operate pyromechanics.
We could do that in South America.
You probably would be able to do that.
I have my contacts.
You probably would be able to do that, yeah. Put in the comments if it's legal in your country to operate pyromechanics like that, because we want to know. But yeah, really cool. All right. You guys sent us a bunch of questions. Of course, we don't have time for all of them, but we will reply to a few interesting ones. First one that I thought was really interesting is how many musical instruments do you own? Because if we're gonna start counting, it's gonna get wild. Like, want me to start or should you start? Let me do me, and then you can shock the world with how many guitars you have. So I have three acoustic guitars. One is a kid's one that I had when I was younger. The other one is a Kamps, and the other one is I don't even know what it is. I bought it because it was cheap and it sounded good. And then I have a Gibson Les Paul, a studio model from 2014, custom, so matte black with a glow in the dark. What do you call tuning knobs? Tuning glow in the dark. I have those. Yeah, they're really cool. Like if you play a live show into the light, it's pretty dope. And then I have a Fender Stratocaster. But I had the pickups replaced with EMGs, so it's like very interesting sounding.
Like the Jim Root one. The ones from. I think he used it. Jim Root from Slipknot. He had a Fender that he put some EMG on, or Charvel, something like a Strat.
Yeah, but mine didn't come like that. Me and we switched it out. So that, and then I have one that looks like a Stratocaster, but it's not. It's from Aldi because my first electric guitar. I was very young when I bought my first electric guitar. I was maybe 16 or something like that. And my parents, I was like that type of kid that just switches hobby every week. So my parents were like, "We're not buying you anything fancy." They bought me the acoustic, the kids acoustic, then the regular acoustic, and they were like, "That's it, no more." And of course, I was like a metalhead. I was like, "I need an electric guitar." My parents were like, no, because you're gonna get sick of this, you know? So, and then one day I saw that in Aldi, they sell for 100 euros a guitar plus amp plus cable. So I was like, yeah, you know? So I made my dad get up at 8, like to go 8 a.m. on a Saturday to go to Aldi, make sure they weren't sold out. And I bought that, and it sounds horrible. And I got like a wood cut, like a splinter in my finger from it because the wood is horrible. But I still have that guitar because you never give up your first, you know. So that, and then I have a range of amps. My favorite is my Mesa Rectifier because I got one of those, and I got also a Marshall MG series, you know, the head and the cab, and then I also have an LTD Les Paul knockoff guitar that he knows the exact model.
EC256, I guess.
That I always forget. A red one, because nowadays I like red guitars. And then I also have a Harley Benson, very standard, very cheap bass that I bought because I wanted to learn to play the bass. So I have all that. I have like maybe 3 or 4 pairs of drumsticks, and I have a little pad to practice on that I sometimes use and sometimes don't. And then a bunch of different microphones to record my vocals. And I think that's it. Oh, I also have a 2 blockfluit. What do you call a blockfluit at home? Do you know that thing that in high school they make you play, like the flute? Little, like, I have 2 of those also. So, yeah. Too much. So, how much music instruments do you have?
Until 4 or 5 days ago, I had 10 guitars. But I got this
here we go again.
beauty, this Epiphone Les Paul custom widowed. Look at, I love guitars with double binding, you know, it's pretty rad. I know the electronics are not the best one. I'm going to replace that with CTS pots, Gibson pickups, and put some probably locking tuners. But anyway, I have 11 guitars, 4 Les Pauls, 1 Gibson Les Paul standard, 1 LTD EC 1000 with Evertune, 2 Epiphones, 2 Charvels, 1 Fender American Strat, 1 LTD Alexi Laiho Hex in purple, a Sire guitar that I modified the electronics totally. I put some Andy Timmons custom pickups on it, and 2 Solar guitars as well.
And how many amps?
No, impressively enough, I don't have too much amps because I sold them when I moved from Argentina to Spain. So nowadays I use the Neural DSP plugins, especially the Petrucci one, because it has the this functionality that you can lower the tune or rise the tune. So you can move by semitones, and you can, if your guitar is in drop D, you can make it go to drop A if you wanted to. I also have the Line 6 HX Stomp XL pedal, which is the one that I use live. You can use AR response and have different modelings of heads and amps. So I use everything virtually nowadays. Maybe one day if I stop living in a flat with neighbors, I will get an EVH 5150, the newer ones, the Stealth. That oof, mwah, mamma mia! And I owned a electrical drum that is behind this lady here, and I think that's it. And a bass and this mic, but I don't sing, so yeah, pretty much. Guitars went brr brr brr.
I think it's enough now. I think it's enough for now. I keep telling you, but every time I talk to him, he buys another guitar. It's fantastic. The collection just keeps going. It's like the guitar is disease, I think.
My logic is that the world could end. So if it's gonna end, you can get your guitar. My calculations has failed 11 times, but hell, I got them. So
maybe the 12th will be right. Who knows? All right, let's move on. Next question is, I thought this one was so funny when I saw it. I was like, is it true that someone peed themselves during your gig? Short answer, yes. So let me give you a little context so that doesn't sound as weird as you think it does. So in the beginning of the year, we played a gig in a sala, like in a room that's kind of weirdly built. So you got, put this down. You got the entrance, like people, then you got the band, and behind are the toilets. So if you want to like get to the toilet, you kind of have to pass by the band almost mid-gig. It's very uncomfortable. I don't know who designed it, but they should have been fired. It's incredibly uncomfortable. And so, we were playing our gig, and it was actually a really good set. One of the best ones we played this year. Like, I was climbing on the table, and the crowd was going like crazy, and you were behind the bar at some point with the electric guitar on the... So we had a really good time, but the gig was really, very fun, really, really good vibe. Yeah. And I remember like getting off stage and walking through the crowd. And I remember it smelled a little funky at some point in the middle of the walkway, like a little like, but we didn't think much of it until like we uploaded a post about it. I think it was on Instagram or on YouTube. I'm not quite sure about the gig. And someone in the comments proudly went like, I loved your set so much and I had to pee. I didn't want to miss it. So I just peed myself. And and I was laughing, thinking that it was a joke. And this gig was in Terrassa, which is where our drummer lives. Go ahead.
Yeah, but kudos to the guy, that was Canadian level of being nice. Like, you know what? I'm not gonna disturb these people. I'm gonna pee my pants.
No. He said, I love the gig so much. I didn't want to didn't want to miss a second, so I peed my pants. Because he could have just gone outside and pissed on a tree, but no, he didn't want to miss a second. It was like that hardcore. But it's so funny because I thought it was like a rumor or a joke. And this happened in Terrassa. Our drummer is from there, so he knows what happens out there. He knows everything with everyone. Turns out the guy is like proudly going around telling people that he pissed himself in a Social Strange show. And so yeah, it's true. Like somebody actually peed themselves. Yeah. I already said to my friends that we should make shirts. It's like I peed myself at the Social Strain gig, and we should make that merch. That'd be so cool. Loki.
That's a that's a millionaire idea.
Yeah, right there.
Okay, next one is for Amber. Okay, people are asking, Amber, are you addicted to coffee?
Define addiction, but today I'm actually drinking tea. Be very proud of me. Kind of like, yes. I think one of my friends have told me already, like, I need to knock it off, but I drink around the average of 5-6 coffees in a day on a normal day. And on a gig day, it's way worse because I like to drink coffee. I'm not really that keen on beer. I don't like the taste of beer. So I just drink coffee before the gig usually. And I'll bring my half-liter thermos. And before that thing starts, I finished it. So I'm always like, I like to be a little extra hyped up and excited before I'm on stage. I want to give you guys that energy, I already am super energetic by myself, but with coffee, it's like, like explosive. So, and on gig days, I drink a lot more because I wake up with a coffee. It's my morning ritual, coffee and music. And then like 1, 2, 3, 4, and you get to the gig, half a liter, and then afterwards another one. So I do drink a lot of coffee. But for those out there wondering, it's always black. I drink my coffee black. I don't like it when they put a lot of sugar in there. This is gonna be controversial, but I don't like Starbucks. Like I really hate. I don't think that's coffee. I'm sorry, but it's just a milkshake. Like don't tell me that that's coffee. I don't know. I'm old school. I like my coffee black, no sugar, no milk, no nothing, just pure.
Even if it were good, the prices, like, no, I made that in my house, you know.
Yeah, like how the hell is coffee supposed to cost €5? Like, did you put like gold in there, or like Adam Sandler says it? Is it made out of panda? It's from a movie. Sorry, bad movie. No, but like I really don't get the whole hype between over coffee, specialty coffee. Yes, when they make it the old way, manual with a little mill, and it's like, oh yeah. But Starbucks, no. I'm sorry, but don't bring me Starbucks ever, please. Don't. All right. Is there anything else on the list?
No.
No. Okay, so we can go to geek stories. I know you guys love our story times. So this time we thought we would tell you a really inspiring story, very inspirational. We're really grateful for this story, for this that it happened, because it really shows how cool our fans are and that they're willing to do anything to come, which is really cool. So today we're gonna tell you. Would you like to tell them the story, or should I do it?
I think I can.
You want to do? Okay, I'll let you.
Okay, basically we had this gig also in Terraza, and we were waiting for the start of the gig. The opener, they got the chance to perform. They were in the middle of their performance, and then boom, storms kicks in, and the electricity went out.
Everything was out. Like there were like leaves and trees on the streets. The cable got hit. The trains were off. It was like
Yeah, and the cell phone signal was really bad, and so basically we were waiting there to make the gig, because a bunch of people attend, even some people in a dinosaur custom.
that was a different gig actually. That was not in the
No, yeah, that was that one, but then they took the custom out. Yeah.
love those dinosaurs.
So, well, basically we were, waiting, and during the waiting, Jordi and I did a drum battle, just for entertain the people. And I'm not a drummer; I'm a newbie, and I did my best. I don't know who won, but we indeed entertained the people.
To clarify that, there was a huge storm, so it was almost impossible for people outside of Terraza to get there, no trains. Even walking outside, it was like raining hard at some point, and no electricity, everything dark. And then inside the gig venue, everything was completely pitch dark, because, no electricity, and it's a room. And him and the our drummer, because we couldn't play our set, no electricity, but we didn't want to disappoint the crowd. They literally came through wind and storm to see us. So instead, him and our drummer did a drum battle, because it's the only thing that still worked. And the crowd was holding up their phones, like the flashlights, to make sure that we could see them. And we kept them busy for a good like 15-20 minutes or something. And eventually the light went back on, and we came running in, grabbed the gear, and played as fast as we could with the songs, because you only have so long. But I thought it was so cool and inspiring, like a lot of the time people, when they come to gigs, they expect a lot from you, and they get really mad or disappointed when that doesn't happen, as were we were also very disappointed we didn't get to play the set the way we wanted to. But it's so cool that everybody, even though it was practically impossible to come, they still came, and they even helped us out. They held their phones up so we had light. They joined in on the drum battle, and they stayed like a long time just to watch us play, because it took a long time for us to come back. And I thought that was so inspirational, and that's the reason why we do it, this kind of moments was so cool.
Even though we couldn't play the whole set list, because a lot of time went by when we were waiting for the electricity to come to return, we played just 4 songs, but those 4 songs we were so hyped, because the people, like, finally we could had a shortened list, but at least they saw a gig. At least they saw people performing just 4 songs, but it was pretty dope. I really liked the experience.
I've never seen any crowd go that excited when you played the intro for Story of My Life. Yeah. I think they almost jumped onto the stage with us, or like, hey, like they were super excited. But it's not a lot of thing. Like if people have to wait, or if something doesn't seem possible and then it happens, it's just such a high build up. It's such a moment. It's like, it was really, really cool. Like that's going to go down in my memories for the rest of my life, I think. So awesome, that gig. All right. let's move. Let's finish the geek stories and move on to our story time of today. So the start of this podcast episode is our second song on our EP called Thorns. So we're gonna tell you all about it. So I think Thorns, to begin with, it's definitely the most hardcore song of our EP so far. And I think when we were writing Thorns, we were listening a lot to very hardcore bands. We're listening to Hatebreed, to Guilt Trip, obviously Pink Harmonics, Kublai Khan. I was listening to that a lot too. Nasty. What other band were we listening to? I remember what was it again? I remember I told you I was like Hate 910 we were listening to also, like those were the main influences for this song. And then for me as a vocalist, my main influence to this song was Otep. As a previous episode I already mentioned, I really, really love her work. And I was very obsessed with how she did the vocals for Blood Peaks, one of her more known songs. I remember I shoved that example under Danny's Lowe's, like our producer, like 4 or 5 times, going like, can you make my guturales, my screams sound like this effect? And I kept playing Blood Pigs over and over again until he got the hint. I think at the end he was so tired of it. He's like, please, can you shut up about this? But that for me was really, really important, because the effect that we put on the guttural, it's very subtle, but it's there, and it really makes Thorns like come together as a song, Another fun fact about Thorns is the intro. When you listen to like, am I a slave to my desires? Wanna sit the throne on my a riot? Like that part intro was actually like a complete accident. Like, was never supposed to be there. I was just at my house recording the vocal demo. So I had the guitar demo with me, and I was trying to see what I wanted to do with the vocals. And I was recording the rest. And at some point I was editing it and then recording, and then I was whispering, talking to myself. I think we all do that. I was something like, and then I was like, wait, I took the whisper and I moved it to the intro, and I was like, wait a minute, this is gonna sound really cool. And that's where my slave to my comes from.
Let she cook. Let him cook.
Let her cook, yeah. That's where it comes from. People are always like, it's such a random voice. I'm like, yeah, it was an accident, I'll call it a happy accident, actually. I'll call it that. I think it's really, really cool. Let's see. Oh yeah, I think you wanted to have some words about Thorns as well, no?
Yeah, adding to what Amber said, I think something interesting about this song is the structure, because each song on this EP have different
Unique structures.
Yeah, we didn't follow like a formula, and I'm not saying that to sound edgy or anything. It's just the fact, when you listen to the whole EP, and I hope you do, you will see that some songs have 3 bridges before the first chorus. Others just start right away with the chorus until the very end, that the chorus just shows again at the very end. So the structure of Thorns is interesting, because it's kind of one part goes all along, the middle part has its own thing, but then the other part mirrors the all the first passage. So it's kind of symmetrical, but I don't know. It's cool. You should check it out.
I think another really cool part, interesting thing about this song is the type of pinch harmonics that we used. Dun, 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 dun. It's like dun, 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 dun. It's really, really, really interesting. And I'll let you. I see you're grabbing for the mic.
Yeah. I think one of the verses had like the way we use pinch harmonic. It's just not adding a pinch harmonic for the sake of adding it. The thing is that it is very musical. I mean, it's hardcore, but it's musical. It's pretty dope. You will notice when you're hearing the verses of this song, like how the pinch harmonic are part of the melody and part of the rhythm section. So it's kind of dope.
I think the coolest thing I learned when we were recording Thorns is that, because Thorns is pretty, I think all 4 songs on the EP are actually pretty heavy on the drums. Like, our drummer needs to he hits quite hard in general, actually. But I think the coolest thing was that when we recorded the drums for Thorns, I actually learned how to put the mic with the China, because the China gets hit a lot in this song. It's really one of the key trademarks of this song. But after a while it gets too much. It's like ding, like you have the after sound and it ruins the guitar. So our producer showed me this trick that you take like the drumstick and you put it in between the mic and the china, and that's about a good distance for not hearing it. And then if it goes too loud, we were actually recording the drums, and when the china goes too loud, he had to stand next to it and hold the china so it wouldn't make that really annoying interference. And I thought it was so interesting because Torrance is such a mix of high, like when you're talking EQ, it has a lot of high notes in there. There's pinch harmonics, a lot of china. So it's really interesting how our producer actually solved that issue and made it all come together with such a simple solution, It's crazy. He's a very, very talented guy, Daniel. I'll give him points for that, definitely. All right. So you guys heard it. DeTune, go listen to Torrance, available everywhere. Don't miss out. Let us know what you think of the song in the comments. And we'll go on to the next part of our podcast, which is personal stuff. Should I take this one? I think I should. So in the previous podcast, we were talking about my travel obsession. Today we're going to talk about one of my other obsessions, horror movies specifically. I'm a big horror movie fan, mainly anything with zombies. For some reason, the amount of adrenaline that I get from watching a movie in the dark, like with zombies that I don't know when they're going to jump at you and they're chasing you and you get beaten. And for some reason, that shit is just like, it has me glued to the screen. And it can be the worst production ever and I'll still watch it. Like the amount of I watch movies mainly on illegal sites because Netflix never has what I want. Don't know why. And there you have like the most breaking the law, literally. I'm badass. And you have like the most like low budget production movies of horror movies, and I'll still watch them even though like the makeup is so bad you can tell it's almost ketchup to blood. I'll still watch it. I think one of my favorites of me are like classics like Night of the Living Dead. I think it's a very old movie, but I love it. I love that movie. Although if you see like the corpse and stuff, you can clearly see it's a doll. But hey, it's a good movie on its own. It's really cool, especially the fact that the zombies can die and that they can talk and they call. There's one scene in Night of the Living Dead where the zombies take the ambulance like speaker and they say, "Send more doctors." And in my head, it's like Uber Eats delivery. I love it. I love it. Other horror movies that I'm really big fan of, The Conjuring. It's very classic, but I love it a lot. Except for the last one, Last Rites. I'm sorry, but no, that one didn't work for me. Definitely not. I also saw Get Out. Really love that one. Weapons. It's the one with the witch where the kids run like this. I told you about it last time. Remember? Such a good movie. I really, really liked it. It's more modern, but I really liked it. Dawn of the Dead. I like Pet Sematary classics. I think my all-time favorite horror movie is probably gonna have to be Silence of the Lambs because I really love the psychological shit too. Any of those sort of things. And there's one movie that I still haven't watched, and I really, really, really need to get on it because it's so interesting. It's called The Ugly Stepsister, and it's basically about one of the stepsisters of Cinderella and how she kind of like, but it's like a horrified version, so like more like the real story originally was, where she's like getting nose jobs and eating tapeworms and everything to try and match up to her beautiful stepsister. Really freaky, and
she ended up being like a mouse.
No. It's different actually. It's kind of like realistic, and that's what makes it really scary. Kind of live up to that's duty standard. It's really interesting. The critics and I think the directors are like Swedish, Norwegian, Polish. Like so, it's gonna be really good shit. So I really need to watch that. That one definitely. But yeah, that's one of my obsession. Horror movies. What's yours?
Well, just a quite short note. I'm not into those kind of movies, but I got to admit that when they have really nice psychological twist, it's cool. For example, The Others with Nicole Kidman. Or, for example, there is one movie that's cool. And there is a movie that is kind of underrated with Jennifer Lopez.
Mother.
No, The Cell. That she gets into the mind of a dude that is in coma, but he was he had a girl, kidnapped, and they don't know the location of the girl, but the guy is in coma. So the only way they find the location of the girl is that they have like a machine or something that she can get inside of the mind of this, killer, twisted person. So the graphics and the scenery that she's into the mind of a serial killer, a dude that was molested when he was, a really, complex and disturbed person. The graphics, the setting that they use is really surreal. Like it's really dope movie. I'm not usually into those kind of movie because I'm more like into kind of Interstellar and those kind of movies, but it was pretty cool. Okay, my obsession. No, it's not obsession. It's just personal stuff. Nothing to do with movies. Movies, though. Well, I am a guitar player, but truth be told, I always wanted to be a drummer, even before a guitar player. The thing is that I was living in a flat, and my parents told me like, "No way." Way back then, yeah, we didn't have this modern electronic kicks, you know. And I love guitar; it's my main instrument, but I have been steadily practicing drums by my own. I'm self-taught. I have just watch tutorials how to grip to take the stick properly, and basics, rudimentaries, and exercises. And then I just find like a channel, Drum Scribe. Shout out to this guy. I think he's from England, and he does like the many popular songs with the transcription.
Is that the shit you were doing?
Yeah. It's the transcription of the actual parts, how to play it, and just the first attempts you don't know anything, but then eventually you got the things going on, and I think by now I'm able to play like 10 songs, and maybe one day I will be the drummer of another band. Who knows?
Who knows? Maybe you can be drummer in one band, guitarist in the other, bassist in one more, singer on more. You gotta keep busy nowadays, you gotta keep busy.
You gotta pay the bills, man.
As if music pays the bills. Ojalá, that would be really cool. Nah. All right, the next section is also for you. It's our monthly gear talk, and of course I'm gonna leave this to the guy who knows everything there is to know about the gear.
Okay, I'm gonna give you
I won't go to
one black stuff, and I'm gonna reach to another black stuff.
She's like, oh no, you placed me for
So basically, I wanted to talk a little bit about DeTune bridges.
She's licking me.
This has been around the market like 7 or 8 years, I don't know. But basically it does what the name says, DeTune. It stays in tune. So I'm not gonna confuse you with the technical stuff, but basically this guitar is way harder to get out of tune than other conventional bridge systems like the Tune-O-Matic on the Les Pauls, or the tremolo on the Fender, or the Floyd Rose, which is always a pain in the where. So it's really, really dope. I use it live. The only downside is, since this stuff has like a bunch of mechanism and springs on the back, it's really heavy. So that's why I do a lot of exercise in the gym for my back, because a Les Paul is heavy as hell.
That sounds good.
But
Wasn't this also the guitar where we were changing the strings to record Thorns, and then you couldn't get your hands on the strings because it was stuck in the back with the... Yeah. How we suffered to record Thorns, I swear. Like, you guys better listen to it. We suffered for that, okay? I had to we spent like 15 minutes getting the cables, the strings out of the guitar in the end.
So to round it up, basically, if you are a guitarist and you haven't tried this thing, maybe just Google it, see what it does, and once you get it, it's pretty useful in a studio because you don't have to, be tuning between each take, and it saves you time. And live, you got a very stable guitar to, it's reliable, and the tuning is gonna be on point.
I know that there's also people who use these tuning knobs that tune themselves. They got them at like bzz, bzz, what's it called again?
I think that's Gibson, and they took it out of the market because it has many bugs and doesn't.
Yeah. I was gonna say a friend of mine has that, and if you forget to turn it off, it'll start getting your guitar out of tune because it keeps just going like this.
No, I think they got it out of the market and then just continue with the normal.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know, the automatic stuff. It's like asking ChatGPT to. Okay, no, not, but it's like asking ChatGPT to tune your guitar. Like, I don't know, like just as a musician, it feels better to do it on hearing. To do it yourself with your own hands, twist it. It just feels better, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
More authentic. All right, guys, we're getting at the end of this episode of the podcast. I know, very sad. And as always, we're going to leave you with a little metal fun fact, a little metal trivia. And I was so psyched when I read this one because I myself, I'm also this. So the fun fact of today is, did you know that Kirk Hammett from Metallica is actually a vegetarian? I don't know why, but that got me so in my head. I'm also a vegetarian, so I thought it was really, really cool that he actually also is a vegetarian. But I also thought it's cool that nobody knows this about him. Like, he doesn't really like talk about it. It's just his lifestyle, it's his preference, and that's it. And I think that's really cool, especially knowing that like metal, being in a band, being Metallica back in the day, it was like men's world and everybody was like, testosterone flying left and right. And in those days, it was not really common to be a vegetarian, especially as a male. You would get a little judged for it, and he just did his thing and never changed it. I really respect that, actually. I do.
Well, Kirk Hammett is one of the reasons why I pick up the guitar in the first place. It's really interesting. I think also he's like the guy who always has been the glue in Metallica. He's seems to be more down to earth, more like easygoing, more chill, and probably that's also part of his personality. Like he has a really huge contrast with James or Lars.
Yeah. Apparently, he surfs and everything. Lives on Hawaii, surfs. He's very like you're laid back, what it seems. But I thought it was a cool fun fact. So yeah, if you were ever wondering, Kirk Hammett is a vegetarian. Now you know.
And also, to round up Kirk Hammett, if you see the latest interview he did with Gibsons, where he featured all his collection of Gibson guitars, you can see in his eyes, in his tone, that he's still this 15-year-old kid who loves music, who is really excited to talk about guitars. And for me, he had received many backlash that he's not technical enough and all of that. Man, I think that guy is a really, really class act, and I love him as a musician and as a person. So
I think that's also something we talked about in the previous podcast episode, is that it doesn't always have to be technical. Like, band is being like, it's a teamwork and it's supposed to fit the song and the vibe. It's not supposed to just be showing off my skills all the time. And in my opinion, good music comes from working together and seeing what fits a song, not just being selfish and being like, I gotta show my skills. Yeah. And if that means that Kirk's work, for example, is not so labeled as technical, when that's fine. It's like songs are really great and they went really far, so who cares if he didn't show his full technical abilities. I think it's a very annoying comment to make, but the world is like that sometimes. All right, we're going to leave you guys at that note. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow us on YouTube, on Instagram, on Spotify, don't forget, on TikTok. Listen to DeTune, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.
Links below. Bye.